Alright guys, we are here today to install the EL panel mod from Hooked on Pinball. We are going to light up the factory LE side rails, something that I think should have been done when the machine was made, but that's okay. These install in about 30 minutes, that's taking your time. So we're going to take a little bit of time just to show you how it installs. Already loosened some of the bolts and things to speed it up as far as for the video, but I think you can follow along with this pretty easily. So we're going to get right into the power. Your kit comes with this power box, and it has an on-off button here. It also has a brightness adjustment here. I always put it on the brightest as possible. And there's a little button here you can make them flash if you like, fast or slow, but that's an option. So we're going to go ahead and turn the machine off for just a little bit while we plug this in. So we'll go ahead and shut it down. Open up the back box. And on the back box, right in here is your power outlet. Okay, so that's where you're going to get your 12 volts. So we're going to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see what I'm working on here. Alright, so this is your power box. Basically it's a plug in and play, so I've already got a 3-pin connector. It goes right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this connector up from the lower cabinet to the upper cabinet through this hole right here. That way I try to keep all my other connections inside the cabinet. That way you can lower and raise the head without issue. So you notice you have ramps on this side, the ramps go in. Basically black goes on top. And there we go. In order to do this mod, you're going to have to remove this cover right here, and that allows you access to the nuts that are underneath here for this hinge. So there's a nut right here, and there's a nut right here. So you just got to take those off. This comes off. Of course, do this while the machine's off. And we're going to remove the nut back here and the nut right here, and that is a 7/16. So I'm going to try to get up a little bit closer for you. Alright, so we're going to take off these nuts right here. The back one, and there's a front one. Once these bolts are removed, this whole arm will swing down, which we're going to show you here in just a second after we close up the back box. So just remove the two nuts there and there in order to access the back nut. That cover's got to come off. So we're going to put this back up. Okay, so now we've got our angle, our hinge down. You don't have to take this all the way off. So you can leave it just swinging like this. Okay, we have our back, we have this plugged into the back box. For now, we're just going to place it in the bottom of the cabinet. That way you can actually test these panels as we take them out. So, as this nut here is a 7/16, you just take that off. I've already loosened it up for this video. That just comes out. Like that. Just got to place that to the side. Of course, we're putting that back on. And then work your way down. You've got several screws along the edge here. I'm going to take those out. Of course, I've already loosened those up too. So, take all of our screws out. And put these aside for reinstalling after we get this new panel in. And you do have a nut here I've already loosened up, and you have to have the playfield up to do that. That comes out. Okay, so we're just going to give you an overall shot. Okay, that's what it looks like before. I'm going to take this off. When we take this off, there's a paper backing that Stern has taped to the back here. You simply remove this. Some guys say, well, is this a mod that we can reverse? Yes, you can. You can put these factory ones back on, but this is just paper, so just be careful getting it off. I don't plan on reusing mine, but I'm gonna take my time taking these off here anyways. And like I said, they're just held on by some pretty good double-sided tape from Stern. Alright, so get that out of the way. Now the panels, people have asked, what color are the panels? Well, the panels, when they're on, they're bright white. When they're off, the closest that I can figure as far as color, it's kind of hard probably to see in this video, but the off color is roughly this color right here. So it's the almost like a, I wouldn't say, it's more a really light red, but they match those pretty good. Let me go grab it real quick. And it's about, well, I guess it's a little bit lighter than that, maybe more in this color range here. So that gives you an idea. This is your panel. And on the back side you have a single side of double-sided tape right along the edge. And what you want to do is you have on your holes for your mounting, the bottom of this is going to be at the top of your hole. Okay, that way the screw doesn't go actually through the EL panel itself. And then this winds up right where the hole is here, right in front of the hole. So you can go ahead and peel your double-sided tape off. Some of the panels will look like this. Some of the panels I've had to play with a little bit. Might look a little different, but they're all going to install the same way. So find your hole right there, and the color, see this edge right here? The color goes right along that edge. So make sure your panel doesn't cover up the back mounting hole. Make sure your color is along the edge, and we'll be golden here in a second. This is real time, so this is the first time I've installed it on this side here. Alright. So the double-sided tape is going to stick to your cabinet, not to your decal. Pretty straightforward, simple stuff. You can add more double-sided tape if you'd like. This is going to do because the panel is going to be held on by the metal grate. So that's what it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and power up our machine to test the panel, make sure everything's good to go there. We're going to do a quick test fit before we screw everything back in. That's what the panel looks like lit. Okay. We're going to check and make sure that everything's right as far as your mount holes. Guess we can go ahead and unplug this just for a second. And plug it back in to test. Alright, so your grate goes right over top. Okay. We can go ahead and stick in our screws just to hold it in place while we light it up to do a test light. So this is your lit panel, and what you're going to need to do is reattach up here your arm. In order to do that, you basically just lower this back down, turn the machine off, slide this back up in place, run your carriage bolt up back inside your hole. Might have to adjust the head a little bit if it's shifted. Put your washer back on and tighten it all up with that 7/16. Now the back one's a little more tricky. The back one, I use a 7/16 open-ended wrench. because it's kind of tight back there, and again, you want to have the machine off when you do this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on. So my socket is kind of hard to get back in here, so just tighten it up with this open box wrench. Or once that's nice and secure, you can fold down. Actually, what we'll do, put this shield back in place. There are 2 nuts for this. I went ahead and put these both back on. Of course, I'll go back and tighten them up with the nut driver. What I wanted to show you is inside the cabinet. We're back inside the cabinet. This is your EL inverter. There's plenty of wire here, so you can mount this in the upper cabinet or the lower cabinet. I like the lower cabinet because you have your on and off switch you can access pretty quick. And then these, of course, you can adjust the lead lengths and these too. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this using the Velcro. It's basically just a stick on. So that way I can basically turn it on and off whenever I want to. If I ever want to turn it off, I don't know why you would. It's a great mod. So what we've got is this lead here. What you want to do is take off your wire, and I've already taken the nuts out of the back that hold the head in place, so you can lean it forward. So here's your wire lead. We're going to tighten up this nut here, which pulls in this pin, brings it nice and tight to the cabinet. And I was going to show you where I usually run the wires. Okay, so your wire comes out the back side of your EL, the panel here. So this is what gives power to your EL. I just run it down inside this hole, and it's going to be nice and tight underneath that head, but it won't get squished because you have plenty of a little gap along the edge here. So now that that's inside the lower cabinet, let me adjust this for you. Alright, so now we're inside the lower cabinet again, and as far as these wires, this one, you could run it up along the edge here and underneath your little wire loom holder. Keep it out of the way, nice and neat. It doesn't matter which one's which as far as your connector, because they both will plug in. So we're going to plug this in, and we should have power to this rail. So we're going to back it out a little bit. Let's just see the rail one more time. So the color went off is, it's about this color here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and power the machine on. You'll see it turn over. There you go. And that's your panel. Nice and bright. And this is one of our first mods for Star Wars. We're going to get some more out. Let me grab the other one real quick and I'll show you. We're adding a Star Destroyer. The Star Destroyer is going to be out probably shortly after or the same time as this. But this is your Star Destroyer.
Don't shoot, don't shoot.
It's a hallmark that I've modded. I've made it brighter by basically taking it apart and rewiring it, adding in some LEDs, and it's going to live right here. So that's the next one out. So that's the install of the EL panels. If you have any questions, just let us know. We can be reached at hookedonpinball.com. These will be available at our website in about 2 weeks. Those that signed up for the pre-orders, your pre-orders should be out in the next 2 weeks. You'll be getting a contact, and we'll get this thing going. Thanks for all your support, and again, it's hookedonpinball.com.